It's the recording. There's an issue with YouTube and I don't know what it is, but we'll get this. So everybody has the applications. They've had them for a little bit. So do you want to go through them and discuss them? With the applications?
Yeah. We want to discuss them. Is everybody able?
I don't have them.
They were all sent to you reading.
I know.
I've only got one copy.
Okay. Read a little bit. I'll go with you.
Okay.
They're tiny. This is all I have.
You don't have a service from the city?
Not yet. They're ordering everything.
Okay. Well, I guess we can discuss how the process goes then. Because we really should have been discussing the applications that came in. Because next month we'll have to invite the applicants to come in and speak. So, each year we guesstimate that we get about $650,000. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less. On the Excel spreadsheet that you have, you'll see where there's a breakdown.
Yes.
So 20% is the maximum amount that can be taken off there for administration purposes. And we turn around and give that back to the city. That's used towards our salaries and benefits for Andy and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then 15% is the maximum amount that can be used for public services. And we're guesstimating that's about $9,500. There is $200,345,000 in asks or requests, if you will. And we can only give away 95 or 97,000. So as you're going through these applications, every one of these does qualify. We went through to make sure that they had met HUD's matrix codes and national objectives.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you make it to any of the informational meetings?
No.
Okay. They're also on video that you can watch. The idea of the money is for seed money to start programs.
Yes.
Every year, if somebody puts in an application for a program that's similar to last year's, they're supposed to significantly expand on it. They either have to create an entirely new program or they have to be serving considerably more people. So like if you say you're going to do 35 last year, you have to be doing a lot more than 35 in order to continue to keep getting money because it's supposed to be seed money. People aren't supposed to be coming back every year for it. I know you didn't get a chance to look at the applications. Did you look at them, Steve?
Actually, I didn't know.
Okay.
I did.
Mr. Mahan, would you like to discuss any of them? Do you have any questions about them?
I don't have any question, but I saw some of them are like requesting more money than what we have here.
Yes, they all will. So the hard part is you, as one of the committee members, and that's why everybody will have their own Excel spreadsheet, so you can kind of work with the numbers. And you'll go through them and your own personal opinion will be, any of these programs that you feel are something that should be getting the full amount, you can put that down. Or if you feel that, they should be getting a lesser amount, but I do have to stress, if somebody's asking you for this specific amount of money, the chances are they need all of that to run the activity. So if they're asking for 20,000, you really shouldn't be coming back saying, well, let's give them 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because the chances of them being able to run it for 2,000 or something,
Yeah.
and then they're going to have to cut the amount of people that they can serve. Corinne, did you have any questions?
Nothing too much right off the bat. I guess one question I have is because I know that you vet all of these applications really well to see that they can apply. Some in past years, I recall there were a couple programs that I'm seeing again on the sheet, and in past years they were like also reapplicants with the same program. When you're doing your process of like looking at the applicants, are you also looking at increase of service and new programs, or is that still something that we should be kind of assessing? Does that make
Yes.
sense? Is my question clear?
Yes, yes. We look at it, we can see who has changed their programming or if they have expanded on it. But we can't keep that, at my level, in our office, cannot keep that application from being forwarded to the committee.
Okay.
It's the committee who has to sit and decide, have they expanded, how many years have they come back for the same program without doing anything different and still getting funded? Your recommendations go to the mayor. At the end of the day, the mayor's the one who sits down and takes everybody's,
Opinion.
I'm sorry,
Opinions.
yes, that's not the word I was looking for, but I'll use that one. Takes your recommendations into consideration, yes, thank you. And then, that's kind of how he determines, who gets funded. But certainly you should, let your thoughts be known. And I don't know, you weren't here for the last meeting, but we are starting our 5-year consolidated plan.
I was here for the conversation around the 5-year consolidated plan and also needing Spanish interpreter, or is there new information?
Well, we have five different plans that we're working on with our plans. But February 6th, we're having a public hearing.
Okay.
The new 5-year comp plan. So if you're interested in participating,
Mm-hmm.
it is going to be in person only.
Okay.
So you won't be able to participate this way.
Okay.
If you would like to come and speak, or you could give written comments that would go to the consultants.
Okay.
And we're going to be doing stakeholder meetings. So I think they're going to reach out to everybody on the committee and say, hey, these are the days that we're doing these meetings. And if you're interested in participating, then you can. So, there might be a part of the 5-year comp plan that you're more interested in than something else. So they'll send out an email with the subjects in it, and then you can choose if there's a meeting that you would like to go to.
Great.
And is that for all of us?
Yeah.
Okay, is there, like a time limit? So many years you could keep applying? And number one, number two is that if people, like, say for the last 10 years, kept applying and they're getting funded, do they have to show that they're getting funding from, like, say, Steve's getting funding, Mohammed's getting funding? These are new people bringing in funding, and would you be able to cut them off, like the term limit type of thing?
They don't have a term limit. HUD doesn't have guidelines for that. If that were something to be done, it would have to be done at the city level. So it wouldn't just be, the committee would be able to see that. It would have to be, I don't know, if it would be the mayor or if it would have to go to council, where, there would be not a law, but a resolution.
Right.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean,
like a 5-year,
Yeah,
this is a 5-year, what is your, like a business plan, a 5-year plan, and then if you do not, if you're not standing on your own within 5 years, whatever it might be, I'm just throwing it out there.
Can I give you my perspective here?
Yes.
I've been doing this a number of years.
Yes,
So, I think where you're going with this is, do we have these organizations coming in, like you're saying, a 5-year plan? That's not really what we want to do, is a 5-year plan. This is really set up for either a new business or an older business with a new program. We don't want to see the same people coming in here and just say, okay, I was here last year and I got 50,000. Well, now I need another 50,000 to get me through this year. That's really it's not the point of this. This is for new organizations with new programs. Ideally, we do get some of the same people, but we have to be very careful when we talk to them to make sure they are new programs. And some people, they have a way of talking flowery, shall we say, and putting a spin on an old program so that it looks like a new program. So those are the questions, and I hope everybody can be here tonight. Everybody, the applicants are going to be here because we want to start asking these questions up front. And one of the first questions I always ask is, if they're asking for 50 and we're not able to give them 50, say we can only give them $10,000, which is still nice, but we have to say, what are you going to do with $10,000?
Yeah.
Is that going to be enough to float your program? Well, obviously not, because they're asking for 50. So, we don't want to start giving money out in dribs and drabs if it's not going to be productive. We want to see them ask for something, that we can give them that's going to be able to move their program along. And that's what these guys do. They keep track and make sure they are applying the money towards the program, making sure that the program is actually.
And do we follow through? Do we do any kind of work of follow through
We don't.
with the program?
No, we don't per se. That's Mandy's
That's what we
office.
do. So we hound them. And Amy is my little pit bull. So when somebody is not submitting their vouchers, like for a good example, on say 2023, we only have 2 people who have put in any sort of request for their money back. So all of that money is sitting there that people haven't put their vouchers in for yet. I mean, granted, they have until June 30th, but our timeliness is May 1st.
Mhm.
So if they don't make timeliness, we don't make timeliness. So that's where Amy comes in, and I say to her, I unleash her and I say, hey, go find out why this one's not spending money. She does.
And then what happens if they don't spend? Can you allot that money if you've come to the final ground? Can they allot the money to somebody else then? And say, okay, you didn't spend your money. You're not doing what, you put in a program to do. We are going to take that money now and we're allotting to another program so you could help somebody else instead of give it back.
So in order for money to be reallocated to another program, it has to be a program that's already been approved, the current annual action plan, or we have to do a substantial amendment and a new application has to come in, and then we have to go through this process again. There have been times we've taken money away from people, but it's been like 2-3 years down the line when they finally said, oh, hey, we actually aren't able to do this. Some of them will say, I'd really like to do a different program, and we'll say, I'm sorry, you can't. You can apply next year because this is already part of the annual action plan. Unless we do a substantial amendment, and then that requires a whole other public hearing and 30-day comment period, and then it goes to HUD, and we might not get it back for, 48 days or whatever it is.
I want to kind of chime in real quick. One, piggybacking a little bit on what Stephen said about your earlier question about people that having terms on some organizations. I will say that there are some really amazing organizations. I've done this, I think this could be my 5th round. Some really amazing organizations in Kingston that continually do new programming. They're just really serving the community. And so we definitely look at that. So in that way, it would kind of undercut some of the really great they are a viable business, they are a viable nonprofit, but they're just finding that, another sector of Kingston can use, or they've got a great idea of a way of serving another sector of Kingston. The other thing that I just want to piggyback about what Mandy just said about Amy, once I received a grant from the city. This is like the first year I lived in the city, and I had to show my receipts to get reimbursed. Amy is fierce. She does her job great. So between the two of them, those I's get dotted and the T's get crossed. So I just wanted to chime in with that.
Yeah, and because this is a reimbursement program, we don't just give the money to them. They have to give us canceled checks and vouchers and copies of receipts in order for us to give them money back. Question?
Keep going, I'm sure I'll think of something. I've been in the city a long time.
Well, I think really what we want to do, we want to make sure everybody's clear coming to the meeting with the organizations. We really have to ask some hard questions. It's not always pleasant. This is not, this job it's nice until it's not nice.
Right.
It's nice to be able to give out money, but it's very, very rare that we can give everybody what they want. I think that's only happened like once since I've been here, that we got enough money and we had so few applicants, that we were able to give everybody what they wanted, which is really nice. And plus it makes our job a lot easier. Otherwise, we have to sit here and debate about who's going to get what. And remember a couple of years ago, we were here till probably midnight one night, talking about who's going to get what. But it was very collaborative effort. It was good. Everybody was very good. Nobody dug in their heels and said, I want this. We were able to come to a lot of hard decisions. But that's the norm, that there's going to be some debate. That's why we really want to talk to these people. We don't want to come to, when we get to our part of the portion of the meetings, we don't want to have to say, oh, geez, we should have asked this. Now we got to wait. Mandy's got to call somebody and ask them a question. So we really want you to come prepared. Those are the couple things we want to ask. If you're looking for 50 and we can only give you 10, how is your program going to move along? And we can look, Mandy's office, they do their homework. They can tell us, you can ask, is this program using their funds? Some people, for one reason or another, don't use their funds. So that's not a good thing. We don't like giving out funds that are not going to be used. We're going to get penalized for it. So we don't want that, that's for sure. So just come prepared, and don't be afraid to ask questions like that. And if they're asking for 50 and we can only give them 20, they have to say, well, I'm getting money from someplace else. So
Yeah, they're already supposed to let us know that in the application, because we ask them, what are your funding sources? We also tell people that, and this has happened, if you need to take a loan, then you shouldn't be running this program, because we're not going to be able to give you the money back right away. We don't get approved from HUD until 60 to 90 days after we hand in our annual action plan. And most times we don't have the money by July 1st. So people have to be able to float until, the government says, okay, here's your contract. Once you get into contract, then the money's available. We have had people that have taken some loans and said, not really sure what happened there, but, but what I do want to ask is, or encourage you, is to look over the applications, and if, like by the end of next week, if you have questions that you can write down for each one that you have, let me know so I can reach out to them and try to get the answers ahead of time. They can't all make it when we have the meeting, but if we can answer or get answers to the questions that you have, that would make it a little bit easier for you. We've had times too when people haven't been able to show up and you can't ask questions. And if you can't ask questions, you got to make a hard decision. Now it's like, are you going to be able to fund them, or aren't you going to be able to fund them? So it's, yeah.
And I just want to give you a little word of advice. Don't feel guilty about things. Look over these applications. If there's something here that you really think is not deserving of anything, and I come back to the meetings and I'll say this, 0 for this one, and it did take me a while to get, and you're never quite comfortable with that. You would love to give everybody what they're looking for, but that's not reality. So don't be afraid to come back here. And we have had times, and it's nice if we go around the table. Usually that's how we kind of just open it up and say, what do you think about this? Give us your list. And everybody kind of, we start picking and choosing. And there are, there's been a couple of organizations that everybody agreed that we're not going to give them anything, and it's tough. It's very tough.
Just to piggyback on that, there are organizations who are very good at fundraising or very good at getting other grants. So, that's another thing that we all look at. It's like, well, are they able to acquire money elsewhere? Where some of these aren't. Especially if they're just starting. It's like they
Right.
just don't have the money for it.
Right, and they have to be good at it, because this is, again, the philosophy here is not for us to fund businesses year after year. You know, we're here to help, you
Right,
know, not help people survive through this. So, anyway, so just come, call one of us if you have questions. You might not be comfortable asking people. You know, we'll help you out with that. So, but, you know, try and make every effort to be here. You want to talk to these people face to face. There's nothing like talking face to face to somebody. And really helps you get a good feel. You know, that's why I'm not a big fan of Zoom meetings. You just don't get that same feel. So I urge everybody to be here. It's worth the time to be here and talk to these folks. And, you know, these are all community people. You probably know a lot of them. You know, and that makes it more difficult. You got all these people that you know personally. And you think, oh boy, we're gonna have to change them or tell them no. And you know you're gonna see them the next day out in the real world. You know, but it is what it is. You know, we're here to do the job, and somebody's got to do it. Some people have left these committees because they don't feel comfortable doing this. So anyway, but feel free to reach out. Let us know your concerns, how you feeling. Yes, ma'am.
another question is, do we ever examine how many of these programs in Kingston are doing the same service?
Well, that's another good question to ask. Maybe not so much ask them, but we can discuss that. And we have a lot of people, especially during COVID, when we had special COVID funds, but it seemed like just about everybody on the list was serving food. Now, you know, there's just so many organizations we can fund to serve food.
Right.
Meals programs, there's a lot of them out there already. You know, we're not looking to duplicate things. We're looking for, as we said earlier, technically a new program. You know, serving meals. Well, it's a great program. I'm not knocking that, but if there's 6 other organizations out there that are giving away breakfast and lunch to everybody, we don't need another person coming in here giving breakfast and lunch necessarily. All right, so yeah, so be looking for that, and they might not have the answer to that. If somebody's sitting here looking to start a meal program, they might not necessarily know. They may be unaware of how many programs there are in the city that provide food for people. So
Prior to COVID, what we would try to do is if somebody came in and, let's say, you and I came in and we were sitting here, we were both doing the same program, but we're 2 different organizations. We would say, is there any way that you can collaborate, that your 2 organizations might be able to work together? You would still get funding, but, you know, then you're not duplicating either. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But, and then there's the other aspect of maybe the kids that live further up Midtown can't get to downtown, or the kids downtown can't get to Midtown. So, you know, that's why they might have, similar programs, but.
Because they have nothing in Pekaki. Pekaki has nothing.
do what?
Pekaki has nothing.
And you know, I saw something on Facebook about a copy market.
I
Have
hope
you heard
so.
about that? I just got
I
an
hope
invite
so.
to
I
join it.
remember we were talking about that.
The library, African Roots Library is down there.
Do they have a market now?
No,
He was gonna put an
I live
application
in
in.
Coffee.
I know you should.
Yeah.
But there's nothing, there used to be, it's a food desert down there.
Yeah,
Complete-
it used
you
to
have
be
the
where the
Delaware-
African Roots.
Yeah, and that's been gone for a while.
That used to be the store there, and
And then-
Gandalf's was up there.
And then there used to be another store up the street on Walnut, but they closed down. Pekaki's a food desert.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing there.
I sent them an
except for
email.
that.
I asked them where they were located, but I haven't gotten a response from them. I'm not sure where it is.
Yeah, there's been a
So
lot
now I
of,
don't know about.
I don't know, I've just been in circles that.
And a nice logo. I mean, it would look like a nice site, but I don't know what it's all about. Where are they?
Okay.
And I subscribe to their newsletter, but I haven't gotten a newsletter yet. I'm getting a little skeptical.
Well, I don't know, because I'm coming up with a lot of people talking about Pekaki in my circle. And they're talking about, how it's a food desert, for me to bring that up, it's like, yeah, Pekaki's been dead for years. I said, it's like people forgot all about it.
When I was a kid, I lived in Pekaki, and we all went to the center,
Yeah,
around our neighborhood center. Walked across the strip. It's different now, nowadays. We can come by ourselves, walk down the strip by ourselves as young kids. Nowadays, I don't know, I wouldn't send my nieces. No, no, so it's transportation, they gotta get a ride.
or find something in Pekaki.
Yeah, we're gonna walk the kids down to the African Roots Library. We'll
That's a
walk
big
down
walk.
there. Well, I used to walk from the home.
I know, but kids aren't like us.
I know,
They need their
walk a
latte.
block. They like, we can't walk. We used to walk to school from Pekaki to the high school.
Oh, yeah.
Before there was, buses.
Right. Nobody drove, everybody walked.
Everybody walked
Right.
everywhere.
I was from Gardner, that's all we could do is walk, we didn't have nothing.
Right. That was not there.
But, so that was when, I was told I was going to be on this was a big concern, because there's a lot of repetitive things going on that, people could maybe get together, make it bigger, and get the funding that they need to get things done, if it's truly for the community and not, personal.
Well, the other thing is when everybody,
Okay,
puts in their vouchers, they have to give us what's called a client data sheet. They have to supply us with the information of how many kids there were, what their ethnicity was, what their, if they're LMI, if they're, I would say wealthy, but if they have hardships, they have to document all this. Because all of this gets reported to HUD. It's all part of our caper at the end of the year. Corinne, did you have any questions? Did I lose her?
And one more thing about what you're talking about, the duplication, like in Midtown, a lot of the people that work with kids. It's the ages, like we start at 4.5. Boys and Girls Club start at 8 years old, so even though they might have to do the same thing.
yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, those kind of things come into play too when you're looking at the different programs.
Do you have any other questions?
I do have about the actual, the sheet you shared with us.
Yes.
So it says $102,845 available, right? Oh, they are asking, like the people are asking, right?
Hold on.
Like total amount.
Which one do you want?
Yeah, they're asking 102,845 more than what we have to offer.
And the amount 97,500, that's that much we have?
That'll be, so we guesstimate. We don't know what our actual allocation is until April or May.
Got it.
So if it's ever a little bit over, a little bit under, we have this conversation where we'll go across the board and we'll either, take the same thing from everybody or give everybody the same amount.
Got it.
Unless it goes over the 15%.
Mm-hmm.
But almost always, the public services aren't getting exactly what they want. So if we do get more funding, we can bring it up to that 15% cap.
Got it.
And then the spreadsheet, as you're putting numbers in, it'll automatically fill it out for you, so you don't have to worry about that.
Got it.
So you can play with the numbers
Mm-hmm.
as much as you want.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
For me, no questions. So this is gonna be our focus for a while.
Mhm.
So,
And I highly encourage everybody to participate in the public hearing. And then when the consultants contact you and let you know when the, stakeholder sessions are, they're just conversations, they won't be recorded. They're just to reach out to groups and say, hey, the elected officials, they'll want to talk to you, so they're gonna come to caucus, in February. And then the public hearing is the next night. But that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they're really holding stakeholder meetings. So, when they send you the email, they'll let you know what, topics there's gonna be. They have certain topics that they have to cover for the 5-year comp plan. So, wanted to say that I highly encourage you to participate one way or the other.
Got
I think I lost Corinne, because I don't see her here. I think it's just you guys.
it.
I'm so used to the table being full. But
Yeah.
you say you broke it up.
Yeah, but I don't know where everybody is, because they were invited, and, Michelle said she was gonna be here, Sarah told me she was gonna be here. Jennifer's in Portugal, so she won't be here. Who else is there? There's you,
I can't even think right now.
Last time we had one.
there's you, Jeannie, Sarah,
Sarah,
Michelle, there's one more, there's a fifth.
I can't remember who it is.
I forget his name, he was sitting over here, right?
No, he's from the African roots.
Library.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's not a,
Oh, he's not part of the board?
no,
Oh,
I didn't catch his name, but I remember where he
Was
said
that,
he was
or
from.
that old
God.
black?
got it.
Now, can you be part of the board and go for these grants too?
No. Well, you shouldn't be.
Just wondering. I'm new to this. I know the outside.
Yeah, I mean, that would, I mean, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be a councilman or a board member.
I'm sure there is. I'll have to look.
You'd have to recuse yourself for sure, but.
But that would be hard for other people that, your colleagues.
And this,
That would be very difficult for your
just
colleagues.
so everybody knows, this 2024 round that we're doing right now is part of it's the first year of the 5-year comp plan that you guys are gonna be passing at council. So, this all kind of has to mesh together.
I'll figure out who the other person is. I'll give him a call.
Yeah. I mean, I can look at it, I just can't do it on my computer, because then I might lose.
Yeah, I can't get
The
on.
meeting.
I can't get anything here.
I wish I had a computer.
My phone's not even working here.
Oh, really? Are you hooked to the internet?
I couldn't get in.
Oh,
How did I have a computer when I worked 18 years with the same computer? I come doing the same, and I don't have a computer. I don't get it. They could have just took the stuff off and said, here's your computer.
I will, I'll definitely shoot everybody an email again. And I did send a request for council. It's hard to use it on your phone. It doesn't matter.
So everybody got their phones and.
Yeah, well, I can't, if I do this on here, then I have to lose the meeting. Oh, it's,
Everybody.
Michael Tierney. It's your fifth.
Yeah, I was just pulling all that up to see who was,
So it's Steve, Michael, yourself, Michelle, and Sarah. So at the end of the day, whatever happens here, even if all you 5 don't come to these meetings, what gets determined here as a recommendation will have to be brought to you in a formal common council community development committee meeting.
So,
And then you guys will take those recommendations and either accept them as they are presented to you, or you will take and make your own recommendations and go to the mayor.
I'm not sure how this is gonna work now.
is this because this isn't the community development meeting,
No, this is the
The
advisory
advisory board.
committee.
Okay.
No, not a board, we're a committee.
Committee. Okay,
But, I guess if nobody else has anything,
I have to say, that camera does put 10 pounds on you,
so what?
the TV. See,
That's why you always turn this way.
oh, that's
So,
different.
all the meetings I've gone to, I sat right here and I
That's
turned this
different,
way.
yeah, right.
You don't want people to say.
but, if we don't have anything else for this meeting, we can just end it.
So the February 6th, we are meeting again?
So the February 6th is the public hearing.
Let me make this.
Same time, 5:30?
That public hearing is at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
What day is that, February 6th, public hearing?
It's on Tuesday, it's just before your common council meeting,
At what time?
6 o'clock,
And what room is it in?
common council. Chambers.
Okay, and then we're gonna have the common council meeting after that meeting? Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, you have a common council meeting that night. We will be out of there way before you guys start. We're
Okay,
gonna be
so
in
the-
an hour.
The 27th, you have the CDBG.
Yep.
Advisor, I will not be here. I will be in Florida for 2 weeks. Okay, so
So,
should I send you a note saying that?
no, but you should send us your recommendations because by the first week in March, I have to take the recommendations, I have to get them to your committee because the consultants need to happen to put them into the 5-year contract.
Right, I'm not back until the 9th of March. So can I make an appointment with you to sit down and discuss some of this stuff?
Sure.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll stop in tomorrow. maybe.
Yeah, and then if you're not gonna be here and if you can't give this committee your thoughts and recommendations, you can hold off and you can take it to the Common Council Community Development Committee. That's a mouthful. I have such a hard time with it, I'm like,
Well, they all meet like that week and I won't be here the first week in March.
Yeah, whatever, I can't get onto my computer that way.
Sorry to say, I made these reservations a year ago. I'm not losing my spot.
Is that one at 6 o'clock too, on the 27th?
Hold on one second, let me pull up my,
I have it.
I think 27th is 5:30. That's
I have 5:30.
Yeah,
yeah, all of the advisory committee meetings are at 5:30.
Okay, well, that makes life easier.
And then if the Community Development Committee for the Common Council has business to tend to, Steve would call that meeting and it's usually on the same night. So you could follow up with that.
do we have to attend that meeting?
No, that's his meeting.
Oh, okay.
I would have to go to present to them
Mhm.
unless they're all here. What the advisory committee is making recommendations for.
Got it.
And Steve, you've been doing this for quite a while, so you know that.
Yeah,
So I should make an appointment.
what have I been doing this, 3 years? Seems like 3.
You've been doing it more than 3.
Yeah? Okay,
Yeah, right.
You've been on this committee at least 10 years.
Right.
On this committee.
me?
Yeah, you,
No way.
yeah, you are.
10 years, yeah.
I've been here 19.
Yeah. Indeed.
Okay, so if
3 years.
Not as chair, though.
No, but I can end this meeting now if we are done. Corinne's not here, she did send a thing she had to text, or just duck out, she's at work. So, I will